Hello, everyone, and welcome to another action-packed episode of War to Attitude. This is the 31st edition. I, of course, am your host, Brent Piles, and with me, as always, is a man who lives across the ocean and from the future. He is the ballroom brawling, disco dancing, dynamite stretching, intercontinental playboy. Folks, he's more over than beating a bunch of Italians in a football game. G.A. Wrestling, Glenn, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Seems like a lifetime ago that all that happened, though. The ballroom brawling, disco dancing, dynamite stretching.
Well, it was.
It was a lifetime ago. Just an old man now, seeing out his time.
Well, I mean, you're not so old, bud.
Thank you.
No
I'll
problem.
take that.
No problem, Glenn. If you want me to isolate that sound, you can use it as your ringtone.
No.
I didn't think you would. I didn't think you would. So I saw. I didn't witness it because I turned the TV off when this match was starting because I was going to go to bed. So the Judgment Day won the tag team titles back last night, correct?
I don't know because I've not seen any.
Whoa, never mind. Scratch that. Put it in reverse, Glenn. I don't know. They might have. They might not have. I'm not 100% on that. I'm really not. I was actually looking for you to confirm it, so I'm not 100% sure if that's even true.
No, because at the moment,
yeah,
until the end of the week, I haven't got things like Sky and internet connection. So
I'm a dummy, Glenn. I forgot about all that. I'm a dummy, Glenn. I forgot about that. So I really don't know. I just saw something that made me think that they won them back, but I don't know 100% for sure.
Yeah. Probably.
If you do get a chance, go back and watch Walter and Bronson Reed. Those are two meaty men slapping meat right there.
Oh, I will catch up with it by the end of the week. Also, I was hoping that Pretty Deadly would get a bit of a push now, but if Judgment Day are back with the titles, that's not going to happen, is it? Just annoying.
Definitely not. I could have definitely seen them feuding with Rhodes and Jay, but that's definitely not going to happen with the Judgment Day.
No.
They
would have been the perfect tag team to have put it back on a proper tag team.
It would have been. What could have been, Glenn? What could have been? Darn it. Gosh darn it, Glenn. But maybe someday 2 tasty snacks and 1 meal deal will be the tag team champions. I know.
I'm sure they will. Because what I saw from them, I managed to watch SmackDown on Friday. For anybody that hasn't heard the it was worldwide this week.
Yes.
We did I was at my mum's, so I had an internet and everything, so I was able to watch it.
And also, if you haven't listened to that already, go back and do it because I was pretty intoxicated.
Just slightly.
I had a couple of libations for the show that continued during the show, and let's just say when I edited that thing, I went, I don't remember any of that.
And you certainly didn't know about the rapping because you weren't around for it.
I had no idea that Sugar Hill Gang Glenn Abbott was going to show up, but he did.
Make the most of it. It's not going to happen very often.
Exactly, pal. I'm usually the one trying to do some bad rapping, and I did. I tried to do several bad raps during that Halloween Havoc watch along. So make sure we watched the Chamber of Horrors match, like
yes,
an orgy of wrestling nonsense. We watched. So listen to that if you haven't already. It's hilarious.
A man gets fried in the electric chair and then comes back to life. What more do you want?
You got guys covered in powdered donut dust carrying a gurney. A referee with a camera on his head.
Yeah. Yeah.
These guys popping out of coffins.
It was definitely something.
It was 100% something. Well, you know what else was something, Glenn? And that is Raw is War from June the 16th, 1997. This took place in Lake Placid, New York. Glenn, do you know any special things about Lake Placid, New York?
Is that up in New York where they had the bad weather, so they have the Winter Olympics, Lake Placid?
You are correct, Glenn. That is where they had the 1980 Winter Olympics. And at the very arena that this Raw took place at, this time it was called the Lake Placid Olympic Center, the 1980 U.S. men's hockey team upset the heavily favored Soviet Union team 4-3 en route to winning the gold medal. It is known as the Miracle on Ice. Are you familiar with this one?
I am, yes.
Yeah, so that's some big historical things that happened in this arena. It's now known as the Herb Brooks Arena because it is named after the man who coached that U.S. hockey team to that gold medal. If you're interested in that, ESPN has a really great 30 for 30. It's called I can't remember what it's called. It's like Of Mice and Men or something like that. And it's literally one of the guys who was on the Soviet Union hockey team, and it tells like their story of coming up and how and leading up to that game. It's a really, really good 30 for 30. So if you got some time, check that out if you're interested in something like that. So that's really the only historical thing that happened at this arena that I could find. Nothing wrestling historical happened here.
No. It's a bit chilly, isn't it, up there for that sort of thing? Be running around in your underwear.
It is. Lake Placid, New York's not a good place to be running around in one's underwear, at least, in the winter months. But anyway, so we get into the show, Glenn, and they inform us that apparently Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart had a backstage fight last week.
Which, if you read both their biographies, is true.
Yes.
But it was hyped up just a bit for TV, shall we say. As you would do with a wrestling show.
Yes, exactly. I mean, if you watch any of the Dark Side of the Rings or anything like that, you will hear a full detailed story about what happened during this fight. Bret Hart ripped out a bunch of Shawn Michaels' hair. Jim Cornette still has the fucking hair to this day. And I believe this is all stemming from Bret having a bit of sunny days, right?
I think that was exactly what it was, yes.
Yeah, I think this is the first time he had laid eyes. He's laid eyes on Shawn in the backstage area since his sunny days coming.
Yes. Yeah.
If I'm Bret Hart, I probably would have done the exact same thing. So,
well, there's worse things that could be said.
Well, depends on what year it is. And then they tell us that Shawn Michaels now has re-aggravated his knee injury. He also has a neck injury. He'll be out of action for 4 to 6 weeks. Bret Hart also re-injured his knee in the fight, but he'll be back in just a few days, a.k.a. meaning Shawn Michaels took his ball, went home, and they suspended Bret Hart for a couple of days. What that means.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened.
They also let us know that since Steve Austin's tag team partner is currently out of commission, they will be having a tag team tournament. And the winner of this tag team tournament will face Steve Austin and a tag team partner of his choosing for the tag team championship. So that'll be interesting because, as we know, Steve Austin loves everybody.
Yeah, that should go well, shouldn't it? With the way he plays with everybody, how well he plays with everybody.
Yeah, that cannot go out without a hitch, right, Glenn? No way.
No, that's right.
And speaking of Stone Cold Steve Austin, he must have heard all of this, so he makes his way down to the ring. And I liked how JR and Vince were kind of like doing like the old, I think it's your turn. No, I think it's your turn. No, I think it's your turn to interview him.
I was going to say, at this stage, Austin is opening these Raws more than Vince is.
I mean, probably more than fucking anyone. Yeah, he comes out every week, I think, to start the show.
Yeah.
If we took like a poll, I would say it's like 80%. So Austin's talking about the tag team tournament. He said he doesn't need a tag team partner. He never wanted one anyway. And then, of all people, Mankind shows up on the screen. I guess Mankind did rescue him from Brian Pillman and the Hearts last week, didn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
And so Mankind says he wants to thank Austin for giving him the finger last week because he felt a bond between the two. And he thinks that Austin should pick him as his tag team partner. Austin then tells him, I don't want no freak show as my tag team partner. I didn't need Shawn Michaels out here with no long hair shaking his ass. And I don't need no Mankind either. Mankind then responds by saying, well, I already have long hair. I can get earrings, and I can shake my ass. In fact, I've got a nice ass, he said.
Yeah. Not something you'd associate with Mankind.
No, well, I mean, usually you think of McNandy Rose. But yeah, Mankind, I guess, great ass. As far as, like, taking bumps, he's got the perfect, like, big flat ass to take a nice bump on. So, I mean, that's good for him, at least. I don't know how good he is at shaking it.
Yeah.
I think we're going to find out soon, though, Glenn, because Dude Love's about to show up. So then some ass shaking is going to commence.
Yes, yeah, within the next year. So that, but they could have done something with this, couldn't they? And then had Dude Love come in to sort of avenge Mankind.
Well, I thought you were going to say they should have made Mankind the original Mr. Ass. I thought that's what you're.
Yeah, well, there was that. Thank God they didn't, though.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we'd been stuck with Rockabilly for a lot longer.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Austin says, "Well, you've got a fat ass," and then Mankind says, "Well, you know what? Just think about it. Just think about me being your tag team partner. Just think about it, Steve. Come on." Which I don't know if I want to be tag team partners with the guy who just told me I had a fat ass, but.
Then we get
interrupted. Asks Austin about his match with Brian Pillman. They show him being attacked by the Hearts. Mankind making the save. Austin talks about stunning Ken Shamrock. Vince also tells us that each member of the Hart Foundation will be handcuffed to their ring post during the match. And just then, Ken Shamrock comes down to the ring. He says he didn't come out there to save Austin last week. He doesn't like bullies, Glenn, as we know. Shamrock, not a big bully guy. And he doesn't think that Austin's any different than the Hearts. He then challenges Austin to a match tonight, which I guess Ken Shamrock didn't hear, but Austin already has a match tonight, but whatever.
Yeah, but you can understand him being a bit upset. He did get stunned out of nowhere.
That's true. And Ken Shamrock's too much of a man's man to like attack him from behind or just hit him. He's more of a, I want to fight you. He's that kind of guy, you know. And Austin tells him after he beats up Brian Pillman, he'll kick Ken Shamrock's ass too. And Ken Shamrock, of course, tells him it's time to knuckle up. And then he leaves the ring. But I'm curious.
It's another thing.
I'm sorry, Glenn, go ahead.
It's another thing they should have pulled the trigger on early by the time they did on Austin and Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock was well down the card and out of the picture.
Yeah, that's definitely they definitely could have done more with Shamrock, especially when you look toward like the 1998 year. Definitely could have done a lot more with Ken Shamrock. And like throughout the show, they keep showing these fucking awesome video packages for this Stone Cold Steve Austin promo, this video that they're selling.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, I thought it was hell. It sold it to me.
They said you can't buy it anymore.
Yeah.
Every time it was on, I'm like, fuck, where can I buy this VHS tape? I need it. It was just really good. Like the way they did it, like the black and white screen with him walking and the dogs barking, and then like that. Yeah. Really good.
If you've got a spare $500-$600, I'm sure you could find one on eBay.
Check it out, Mayor. Can't maybe get one off of eBay. I don't think he would do that. We then hear from Brian Pillman. They remind Brian Pillman of his head being flushed down the toilet at King of the Ring.
Yes.
Never
not funny.
I think Vince was very funny for that.
I think that's as being somebody that was bullied at school. I never find that not funny when somebody else has it done to him.
Well, especially with somebody like Brian Pillman, who deserves it.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, at this point in time, he deserved it in this era. Then the Hearts, talk about the Hearts being handcuffed around the ring, and Pillman's like, Shamrock's not gonna have to worry about Steve Austin because I'm gonna take him out before he even gets a chance. And then Glenn, we head to the first match in the tag team tournament. Glenn,
he got two really good wrestlers stuck in stupid costumes and with the worst gimmick on God's earth. And they put them up against Bulldog and Owen.
Yeah, okay, I get what if you want to do Bradshaw and Wyndham in a tag team, but don't make them the new Blackjacks. Make them something else.
Yeah, it looks so ridiculous.
And they did that promo before the match too, and they sounded like guys who were trying to sound like cowboys. I mean, Bradshaw was okay, and I love Barry Windham, and Barry's always been a good promo, but whatever he was trying to do here wasn't good. He seemed like he was aloof.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they're not invested in it, are they? You could tell. You could tell during the match. Yeah. They're just not invested in it. They have this gimmick thrusted upon them, and they're just not interested in it.
Anything in wrestling when you're the new something, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. especially with two hardened pros like those two.
Yeah.
If you've got two young lads that are just coming through and you make them the new something, there's an excuse for that.
Right.
But when you've got two hardened pros that have done their time, and then you go and saddle them with the new bloody blackjack gimmick, well, this is Vince Russo at his worst.
Bro, we'll give him mustaches, bro.
Yeah.
He probably did it because he hated JBL.
Yeah, probably.
Which I think a lot of people do. Yeah, I don't know. The only thing I really took away from this match is like Barry Windham and Owen Hart started the match, and I thought to myself, man, what a match Barry Windham and Owen Hart could have had, like in 1989. Oh my God, it would have been a barn burner.
It certainly would.
Would have been amazing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the match was what it was. It wasn't very long. I think it was like 3 minutes long. Owen and Bulldog get the win when Bradshaw looks like he's going to powerbomb Bulldog, but the referee is distracted and Owen hits a heel kick, and Bulldog gets the pin on Bradshaw and so Owen and Bulldog, of course, will be moving on to the second round of the I don't know who's in this tag team tournament, but I'm picking Bulldog and Owen to win because who the fuck else would win?
Yeah, of course. And of course, there's the usual dissension, the tag team that can't work together at the end between Windham and JBL. It's just sad. It is sad what they've done to him.
It's not good. You wouldn't think back then that JBL would be like one of the longest reigning champions in SmackDown history.
That's right. What a waste of Barry Windham.
Boy, the WWF wasted Barry Windham a lot.
Yeah, I know. He was tearing it up in WCW, and then they go and take him. And
then he's going to be the stalker. It was the stalker earlier, like in 1996, where he had fucking stupid face paint. We didn't hear from, they tell us that we're going to hear from Paul Bearer and The Undertaker. Then they run down what happened with the Nation last week with Farouk, firing everyone but D'Lo Brown. And Farouk challenging The Undertaker and Johnson to a match this week. We're going to find out the two new members of the Nation of Domination tonight, Glenn. I know you could probably barely sleep with anticipation of who's going to join the Nation of Domination.
Oh, definitely not. Now, all you know is that they're going to be two black men. Because Farouk determined he's only going to have black men in the Nation from now on.
Look, he said it. We didn't say it. He said they're going to be blacker. He definitely said it, didn't he?
Yep, he did.
He absolutely said it. Yeah. I'm losing it in my notes.
Okay. Exactly. He said, I'm going on a quest to only have black people in my crew.
Basically. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it makes more sense that way. I mean, that's what the Nation of Domination was supposed to be all about, right?
That's right. Yeah.
It makes sense. It should have been that way from the first time.
I mean, why are the White Crush coming out there and giving the back power salute? Wasn't a good idea anyway.
It doesn't make no sense. It didn't make any sense. So then we get another interview, this time with Shamrock, because tonight was fucking backstage interview night, for holy fucking sakes. They interviewed everybody twice.
They did. This could have gone. This could have been at least half hour off of this show.
Yeah, I don't know if it was scrambling or what happened, but this show felt so thrown together.
Yeah, I think it's because they had such short matches, and the matches were. Spoiler alert: most of the matches are quite uninteresting.
Yeah, there's like one good match on this thing.
Yeah. No, don't stop listening. Because it does get interesting. But basically, this show is all about storytelling.
Yeah.
So just bear that in mind as we go along, please. Don't criticize.
I'll try to be as entertaining as I can.
Yeah.
They ask you if he's ready for a guy like Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Glenn, if I asked Ken Shamrock if he was ready for a fight, what do you think you would say?
Oh, no, I'd rather have a cup of tea with him.
No, I'm saying, what do you think Ken Shamrock would say if I asked him if he was ready for a fight?
He'd say, no, I'd rather have a cup of tea.
No, he would say, time to knuckle up, of course.
Of course he would.
And that's what he says here. He says, tell Austin it's time to knuckle up.
Yeah.
Big knuckle guy, that Kid Shamrock. Anyway, so next we got a guy who's a big pig guy. That's right. Phineas Godwin is here, and he's going to be taking on the King of the Ring, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And, thank God he's not Naked Midian yet. That's all I can say about this one.
Yeah, they got not yet make Naked Midian against not yet the King of Kings, just a king.
He's just one king so far. They do let us know, however, that at the In Your House Canadian Stampede show, we were going to get a match between Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Mankind, which should be a lot of fun. And then Hunter starts like pushing around the guy in the ringside area who takes everybody's shit to the back. She like shoves him down and messes up his shirt a little bit just because she can.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, where the fuck is Ken Shamrock? Ken Shamrock hates bullies so much. Why isn't he putting this stuff in China?
He's more interested in somebody that's out to bully the Hart Foundation than he is somebody that's out to bully the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, Shamrock should like what Austin's doing. He's bullying the bullies. So it's fun.
Yeah, very true.
And then, China's, of course, roughing up Phineas a little bit while he's on the outside of the ring, and Triple H is distracting the ref. Phineas got a little bit of offense, but then, China ends up hitting him a little bit more, and then so Phineas decides to kiss China.
What a mistake to make.
Well, I know the last time a girl was hitting me, Glenn, I just kissed her.
Yeah. He probably doesn't get to kiss many girls. Oh,
well,
PIG.
Maybe not. I mean, I don't know what the women's selection is like in Bidders, Arkansas. Phineas might be a fucking hot bachelor in Bidders, Arkansas. I don't know.
That might be true, yeah.
I'm not 100%. I don't know what the hot farmers are looking like there in Arkansas.
Yeah.
I know what they look like in Nebraska.
Yeah.
But Phineas, of course, distracted by love, kisses China, and then he turns right around to a pedigree, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley gets the win. And then after the match, old Henry Godwin comes storming out to the ring, and he's pushing Phineas around, calling him a loser, and then he points right at Vince McMahon and says, "This is all your fault."
Yeah. Yeah, the heel turn that we were all waiting for, that is.
Yeah.
I
was hoping everybody talks about the big feud of Austin versus McMahon. What about Godwin versus McMahon?
Yeah, God.
You know why they're so mad at him, Glenn? They came in with a different gimmick. They wanted to be pilots. They were like, "We're going to be pilots, okay, from Seattle." And Vince was like, "No.
Nope.
Wait a minute.
Promise.
Put these overalls on. You guys are going to be hog farmers. What do you think?" God damn it, pal. Get the overalls on. Get them on. Where's the slop bucket? God damn it. Jerry, piss in that slop bucket. Yeah, piss in the slop bucket before he slaps it. Come on. Do it. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. Sometimes I lose myself. The next up, Glenn, we're going to find out what's going on with the nation. And then we come back and we find out nothing.
Yeah. Fruit just promises again that it's going to be a bigger and more importantly blacker nation.
Yep. That's what the man said. That's what the man done did said. And somebody we alluded to earlier in the episode, Sunny, comes on down to the ring here. She's going to be the special guest ring announcer. I'm pretty sure this is just to sell more of those Raw War t-shirts.
Yeah. And also it's to get Chris Candido on the bill.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So they also had Paul E. joined on commentary this one. They called this one an inter-promotional match, Glenn.
Yep, USWA versus ECW.
Yeah, who was the gentleman we got from USWA?
That's Chris Candido. Oh, no, Brian Christopher, rather. Chris Candido is ECW.
Jerry Lawler's son himself, Brian Christopher, and Skip, who apparently had left the WWF by this point, which I didn't know he left, but I guess. He's back now. I think this is more of them trying to push like the light heavyweight division. I think.
Yes, yeah, this is definitely what it was. Yeah, with and also this thing about the friction between WWF and ECW that nobody gives a shit about.
Right, and the whole feud with Jerry Lawler and Paulie, because I mean the match wasn't bad. I mean Chris Candido's a good wrestler, and so is Brian Christopher. So like it's not a bad match, but there's just nothing to get behind. Paul Bearer. I'm so used to saying, if I'm going to say secret, I'm used to saying Paul Bearer. Paul E tells us the big secret that Brian Christopher is Jerry the King Lawler's son. Which brings the King and RVD down to the ring. They start beating on Candido until Tommy Dreamer comes in with the chair to chase them off. So
basically, this is as riveting and as exciting as the last time ECW got involved.
Yeah, not a whole lot of substance here from this ECW stuff at all.
No.
We then go back in the back, of course, because it's promo evening. If you're out there and you're holding a beer in your hand, Rob, I'm talking to you, take a sip every time you interview someone, because you'll be drinking all motherfucking night. Because that's how we do this interview people. It's Ahmed Johnson and The Undertaker. No, I'm sorry. It was just Ahmed Johnson this time. I'm sorry. I can't get my promo straight. And he says we can do the easy way or the hard way. And he says tonight, for everyone's sake, he's going to do it the easy way.
As if he ever does.
Right. Nothing about Ahmed Johnson this season.
No.
And then, Glenn, we get another promo.
Yep.
This time it's Jim Neidhart, and they ask him about being handcuffed to the ring, and Jim starts losing his mind, saying the Harts are no criminals. But he says he's going to show us tonight that crime pays.
I tell you what, you were braver than I am that you noted down all these promos before matches started. I didn't even bother noting that.
Well, unfortunately,
every match has somebody doing a promo before the start of it. And they're not doing it any good. They're trying to hype things up that are unhypeable. Such a word.
What do you mean, Glenn? You weren't excited about the big Jim Neidhart Goldust match that came up next?
Not really, no.
Well, what the heck, Glenn? That's a big match. How could you not be? They did a promo before the match, Glenn. What more do you want?
I know. It's just it was another 3 minutes 45 match of nothingness.
Yeah, I mean, they do another recap of what happened last week between Goldust and Shamrock and Bulldog and the Hearts, but they all fought at the end.
Bulldog comes out, not to make it interesting or menace Goldust or anything, no, to flirt with Marlena.
Yeah, she goes to smack him. He grabs her hand, which brings Goldust outside, of course. Then Neidhart attacks him from behind, but then Neidhart goes for a back body drop, but Goldust hits an uppercut and gets the 3 count, which was the strangest fucking ending I've ever seen.
Yeah, because Goldust does his sliding punch, pins Neidhart, and one of the hardest men in wrestling at this time, Jim Neidhart, has to do a job to a punch. A punch from Goldust.
And then after the match, they fire up the British Bulldogs music.
Exactly. I was just coming to that.
I was like, what the fuck?
He wasn't even involved, apart from with Marlena.
He was out there for 5 seconds and got his music played. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Clearly, that's not the guy who works at WWE doing the music now, because that guy knows fucking everything.
Yeah. Now, again, I've got no note of any promo between that and the next match. Was there anything?
Yep, Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to do a promo. They asked him if he's ready for his match with Brian Pillman, and he says he's got Pillman and the Hearts right where he wants them, and he's going to run through all of them. And Ken Shamrock, your ass is next.
Of course. Okay.
And then we get the whole, recap of what's happened so far in the show, and then like the whole restart of the show with the fireworks and everything.
Well, they had to do that. They handcuffed all the hearts to the ring.
Yeah. And then, like, that's the only good match of the night comes up next with Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Brian Pillman.
Yeah, it was.
They come out, and they're going to, cuff. Wouldn't it have just been easier to make the Heart stay in the back? Because if you handcuff them to the ring, they're eventually going to get involved.
Yeah, they're all close to the ring.
They're fucking right there.
Handcuff them to the guardrail or something if you're going to handcuff them.
Right.
Just not let them out there. But I know I can understand why Steve wanted the stipulation that he wanted to keep his eye on them because he's been jumped times by them. So yeah, I can understand that. But have them handcuffed to the guardrail and not that close to the ring.
Yeah, but and I guess I get it for like the aesthetics of it because you see them all standing out there. So I guess I understand why they do it. But just thought maybe it would just been easier if we just banned them from the building. But I guess wrestlers always finding a way in, Glenn, don't they? So wrestling security they have bad security at buildings. Wrestling.
At the start of this is not one of JR's finest moments. It's got to note here. Austin attacks Pillman straight away. Does an atomic drop. Then beats on Pillman outside and then back into the ring and then hits him with a stun gun. And JR at that time is doing his usual history spewing about the Bengals, what university and everything, or what college or whatever Pillman went to, and where Steve Austin came from, and everything but what was going on in the ring.
Like, this isn't the time for that. We all know about what Stone Cold Steve Austin does. We all know about what Brian Pillman has done. And this is like a blood feud. You know what I mean? Like, he broke Pillman's fucking ankle, and then he broke into his house, and Pillman almost shot him. We don't need to talk about where they played football at in college.
No, that's
like, I get doing it like if they're in an enhancement match or if it's their first couple matches in, but I don't need to know that Brian Pillman went to the University of Miami of Ohio every time he has a fucking match. I just don't.
No. So after all that, you got Pillman begging off and backing off, but Austin still attacks him again and hits him with a clothesline out of the court, which was a good thing to do. Pillman then breaks Austin's eyes to get out of the way. So Austin is now chasing after Pillman, but decides that rather than going after the man that he's wrestling in the ring, to attack all the Hearts who handcuffed to the ring.
Well, they're fucking standing there. You might as well, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, he just starts beating them. So they're handcuffed and they're standing there, so I'm just going to punch them.
Yep. And I wasn't aware that this was a no disqualification match. But
yeah,
obviously there was some latitude given. Because Pillman starts throttling Austin with a TV cable or something, and the ref doesn't do anything about it.
Well, Austin, and also Pillman picks up a chair, right? He's going to hit Austin a bit. Austin flings his forearm at him and just pops the chair back into Pillman's face and literally busts his nose open hard way. He's bleeding everywhere out of his nose during this thing. Yeah. And then then after that, Pillman started choking him with the cord, and nobody getting disqualified in this thing, but it doesn't end in disqualification. But even Austin stuns the referee, and that's not disqualification.
No, that chair to the face. It was obviously. As you say, done the hard way, and it obviously stunned because it was the only time that we got a chin lock in this whole match. It's the only time we got a rest hold in this whole match, and I think that was so that Pillman could unscramble his brains.
It's like, fuck! I thought I was playing with the Bengals again.
Yeah.
Like, fuck! What happened? Yeah, so I remember this really felt like a struggle and a real grudge match. So it was fun to watch, especially in the middle of all this terrible tag team wrestling that I saw on the show. There was another part where like Pillman was up on the top rope and Austin like caught him and he like picked him up like he was gonna suplex him, but then he just like dropped him, balls first across the top rope, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
The Austin stomping Pillman in the corner, the referee kind of gets in Austin's face. So Austin, of course, hits him with the stunner. And while the referee's down, Owen digs the key out of the referee's pocket because that's Owen Hart.
Yeah.
He uncuffs himself. He gives the key to Neidhart. Then Neidhart gives it to Bulldog. They all get in the ring and start beating on Austin, which of course ends in the disqualification. And then Mankind, Ken Shamrock, and Goldust all come down to hit the ring to fight off the Hearts.
That's the other thing is that just before that as well, Pillman had brass knuckles.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
that. Out. And still, that wasn't disqualification. It took Owen to rob a dead referee, and then the whole family to start beating on Austin.
Yeah,
to get a disqualification.
To rob a dead referee. That might be one of my favorite lines in the show's history, and that was great. Thank you. It looks like Austin's going to sneak up on Shamrock for another stunner, but Shamrock hits him with a suplex instead. Austin then takes Shamrock down. They start brawling. LOD comes out to try to break the guys up. Goldust gets on the mic, and he's kind of like, we need 5 of our best to take on the Hart Foundation in Canada, and I think we've got 5 of the best right here. So what do you say? For one night, we'll go up there to Calgary and kick their asses. And Austin says, Gorilla Monsoon ain't gonna let me do it by myself, so I'll be y'all's teammates for one night and one night only. So we've got our 5 to take on the 5 from the Hart Foundation at Canadian State.
And that's where Survivor Series was born.
Yeah, but not yet. This isn't an elimination match one. It's just a 5-on-5 tag team.
Yeah.
And then, Glenn, it's time for the Super Soaker Rewind, because if you forgot 15 seconds ago, Austin stunned a referee. Just so you know.
Yes, yeah. Why didn't we have Sunny Squirts? I would rather had that than a Super Soaker Rewind. They're going to plug Super Soakers. At least have her do something rather than just have us see what we saw 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, at least the Sunny Squirts was a fun segment, at least for this show. Are you still there? Did you freeze? Somebody's calling, Glenn. God damn it. Oh, you here?
I'm here. No, I don't know what happened there.
Okay, we're good to go. Definitely. All right, Glenn, do you know what time it is after that match?
It's Vader time? No, it can't be.
No, it's not Vader time. It's motherfucking promo time for the 325th time tonight, Glenn. It's time for a backstage promo. With the Hart Foundation, we talk about what just happened in the goddamn match, and they're talking about In Your House, and Owen says they're going to destroy them, and Pillman says the battle lines will be drawn in blood, and they're going to be walking into the dungeon at Calgary Stampede. So,
of course.
Then Sable comes down to the ring. She's also going to be a special guest ring announcer, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's
do something. Talk about
driving this crowd up.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. They also talk about like what happened with. They're clearly building something with Mero and Sable, with some dissension there, and Mero playing like the jealous husband. You know what I mean? Or the jealous boyfriend.
Yeah, we'll get a lot more of that. Her coming out scantily clad and him trying to cover her up before long. Which was a great heel turn for me because I hated Mark Mero for that when I was a child. Yeah, yes, yeah.
I was 14. What do you mean? I want to see boobs. I'm 14. And then, Glenn,
I was in my 20s and I still wanted to see boobs.
Well, even in my 20s, I would have said the same thing. Yeah, but I was way more hyped up when I was 14 about.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I still like him to this day, but
yes,
I would say I liked him more when I was 14, probably because I'd never seen him before. That's probably why I liked him.
Yeah.
Anyway, this show just took a weird turn. Anyway, You probably know more about these next two fucking guys than I do because JR had a lot to say about them, but I don't know who the fuck these guys were. This looked like two jobbers from 1992 facing off.
No, they're not. They are probably number 5 in my list of all-time great tag teams. They were known, Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers, for anybody that, and they were known as the Fantastics. Through WCCW and NWA, they were one of the top tag teams there with Midnight Express and Rock and Roll Express.
So, like, I've heard of the Fantastics. I've never really seen any matches that I can remember, and I definitely didn't remember either one of their names because to me, I was like, "What? Why are we doing this? Who the fuck are these guys? And why are they on Monday Night?"
This is Vince's effort of trying to build a cruiserweight division. Take one of the top tag teams in the world. Probably not by this time.
Yeah,
at the late 80s, early 90s, one of the best tag teams in the world, and had them fight each other.
I guess for people who are aware of these guys and know of the tag team would probably be excited about this. And it by no means was it a bad match because they did some pretty cool stuff and they had some good timing. It was probably one of the better matches on the show, but that's not saying anything.
But it only lasted just over 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, so a super short match. But he did get like the guy in the red trunks won. I'm not sure which one of those guys it was.
Probably. No, it was Tommy Rogers. Tommy Rogers won it.
He won it with an unprettier, which is like what Christian would go on to use in his career. Which I don't think I'd seen anybody use an unprettier in 1997 up until that point.
They didn't call it the unprettier back then because it had only ever been used in Japan. It was called the Tomikaze.
That's a good name.
And I think it's used. I think they used when the Fantastics were doing the tours of Japan. They used that as their finisher a lot.
Okay, makes sense. That makes sense. Then Sable gets into the ring. She's kind of waving to the fans, and Mark Merrow comes out there. Vince is acting like Mark's going to come over and let us know he's going to return to the World Wrestling Federation, but he's just out here to take Sable to the back very sternly. Not happening.
Yes. Bring back Johnny B. Bad, please.
He said, and so he's just like, "Do you understand? I used to be Johnny B. Bad. You didn't want to make me mad. I was pretty as a picture. I looked just like Little Richard. I had a bad blaster, and now I'm a fucking wild man with a cut-off fucking t-shirt on, and nobody gives a fuck about me. They only care about you. I hate my life."
Yeah, exactly.
I hate my life.
Talking about hating my life, or hating life, brings us to our next tag team tournament round 1 match. Now, we have sung the praises of, although it's a shallow pool of tag teams, they have some good tag teams around at this time.
Yeah.
So, what do they do to extend this? They stick Rob Van Dam. Now, who in their right mind decides we're going to have this extreme guy come over at WCW, leaps around, does everything spectacular? We'll put him with the king.
It's like they didn't have enough tag teams, and they were like, "Well, I guess Jerry and RVD are going to have to be in this thing."
And at this point, Jerry the King Lawler must have had something in his contract that he got so many matches a year. Because this is not the first time we've seen him just thrown into a match for no reason whatsoever.
They threw him into the fucking King of the Ring tournament for no reason. He had one match. He was in the Royal Rumble for 2 seconds, and then they were like, "Oh, you should be in the King of the Ring tournament."
Yeah.
Get out there. Makes sense. The best bit of this was they did like a pre-recorded promo with the Headbangers, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, we're really happy to be in this tournament. It'd be really cool if we could win those tag team titles. They could hold up our skirts," which I thought was really funny.
Yeah. It does.
Which brought JR to say that he wouldn't want his daughters to date the Headbangers. So I wasn't surprised to hear it. Like, if you had told someone that didn't know it, that knew RVD and knew Jerry the King Lawler, was like, Jerry the King Lawler and RVD tag teamed one time on fucking Monday Night Raw, you'd be like, fuck no, they didn't. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you take shrooms today, man? That never happened. But I saw it with my own eyes, so it did happen.
Yeah. No, it just... And again, it's not even a clean finish. Yes, they give the win to the headbangers, but it takes bloody Sandman to come in to interfere. Beat
of course, Dreamer and Paulie are in the crowd. Whatever the match is going on, Sandman comes out of nowhere. He canes Jerry Lawler right in the nuts. Then the headbangers, they do they're on the top rope, and the one picks the other one up in like a front suplex and like drops them on their opponent, which is a really cool fucking move. And so they do that, get the 3 count on Lawler, and so the headbangers will be moving on. And then we get a big brawl between RVD and Sandman. My favorite part of this is Paulie's got the kendo stick, right? He's holding the Sandman back, and he's going, "No, we'll get sued. No, we'll get sued."
Yeah. Trust Paul Heyman to save the day.
Yeah, I mean, he knows who's going to get sued. We then hear from Ahmed Johnson, The Undertaker, and Paul Bearer. Vince asks them if they're ready for the match. Ahmed says that they're born ready. Paul Bearer, blah, blah, blah. Who's the captain of this team, Ahmed? You're going to listen to me just like The Undertaker listens to me. And Ahmed basically tells him, like, look, I respect him, but I don't care about you. And if he gets in my way, me and you are going to go one-on-one tonight. Basically what he tells The Undertaker.
Yep.
And so now we get to the match. Ahmed Johnson comes out first, and then The Undertaker, and then Farouk comes out by himself. He gets on the mic. And
all on edge. All on the edge of our seats. Wondering who the next member of the nation could be.
Yeah, and so he announces that Kama Mustafa is the newest member of the Nation of Domination. If you don't know who Kama Mustafa is, ho! And no, I don't mean Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I'm talking about the Ho Train. That's who Kama Mustafa is. The Supreme Fighting Machine, Papa Shango, Kama Mustafa. We're all waiting for him to come, down the ramp. He doesn't. He comes from the back, of course, and he attacks The Undertaker from behind. Not a lot to this match.
No. It was all about the end of the match, really. It's just that everybody, the whole thing, JR was speculating, rather than commentating on the match, was speculating who it could be. Could it be Mr. Hughes? Could it be Butch Reed? No.
They basically started naming every African-American wrestler they could think of.
Basically, yeah.
Even the Junkyard Dog. Was Junkyard Dog still alive in 1997?
I'm not sure.
Maybe he was. I think it was like 99 passed away.
Yeah, I think he may have been.
I just wanted it to be ridiculous that they named somebody who wasn't even living anymore.
Yeah.
Like Bobo Brazil, maybe. Motherfucking yeah. So that made me laugh too. They're just throwing out Mr. Hughes. Maybe he'll be any African American wrestler they can pick up. So we get down to it. Eventually, Ahmed Johnson has some words with Paul Bearer on the outside of the ring, and he shoves him to the ground. And then Kama hit some weird suplex too on the Undertaker for the 3 count, which I didn't expect that to happen. I did not see that.
No, neither did I. But thinking about it, what we know now, if the Undertaker was going to do a job for anybody, it would be him.
Yeah, he wouldn't have a problem putting his friend over. Yeah, especially when his friend's just returning.
Yeah, exactly.
After the match, the Nation starts attacking the Undertaker. Ahmed seems to have chased him off, so the Nation leaves the ring. Ahmed's kind of standing over the Undertaker. It looks like he's going to help him up, although it's kind of not a nice way to help somebody up, usually by their hair.
No.
That kind of gave it away for me. When he started helping him up by his hair, I was like, well, he's probably going to Pearl River plunge him. But they acted like, oh, look at him, nice guy, helping him up by his hair. And she's like, yeah. When my friends called out, he's like, grab by their hair and pull him up.
Yeah, he yanked him up.
He, of course, picks Undertaker up, hits a Pearl River plunge on him, leaves the ring, and now after battling the Nation of Domination for what seems like ever, Ahmed Johnson is now the newest member of the Nation of Domination.
Basically, that's because Farouk couldn't find another African-American gentleman to join.
I mean, apparently all those guys they named must have been busy. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Not
Or retired.
I had forgotten that Ahmed Johnson ever joined the Nation, so I don't know how long this lasts for.
Not very long, because he gets really badly injured not long after this. So it would have been interesting to see on where it would have went. How long it
would it take before Ron Simmons killed him?
Yeah.
I heard Bruce Pritchard say that, Ahmed didn't discriminate. He would hurt himself just as much as he hurt everybody else.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a hilarious line.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're going to be unsafe for everybody, including yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So who knew, Glenn, the newest member of the Nation of Domination was going to be Big T from Harlem Heat? He would later go on to be Big T in the Harlem Heat. That's why I said that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a wrap for the episode, the June 16th episode of Monday Night Raw. Glenn, who do we got to plug before we get out of here?
We'll give a shout out to the guys from UTT. Apologies for not getting it all sorted for this weekend, but we will be catching up with you very soon. DC Doc at DDC Wrestling. Andy Bang Bang Podcast is coming back with his original co-host Steve at some point, and also they're recording at the moment or getting ready to record the next series of the Doctor Who podcast. So keep your ears open for that as well.
It's the Doctor Who podcast with Danny Inside. Yeah, we will do the thing with the UTT guys. We will get that rebooked. I know we talked about that, but I had some real life situations happen, and I wasn't able to do that. But we will reschedule, and we will watch some Les Kellett. We've got to. We need to see it.
We will.
We need it in our lives. Make sure you check out the life and I don't know shit. The life and times of Psycho Sid if you haven't already. Best to watch it on YouTube, but you can listen on wherever you get your podcasts on whatever app you listen to your podcast.
If you like watching jobbers die, definitely watch it on YouTube.
Yes, absolutely. If you want to see jobbers be murdered, then check it out on YouTube. 100%. Make sure you check out AWI Pod Worldwide. This week we of course watched Halloween Havoc 1991. I think we're going to finish it up this Friday too. It's only going to be a two-parter because a few of the matches we have to skip because they're too good for our tastes.
Yes, yeah.
We don't want to see Steve Austin versus the natural Dustin Rhodes. Sorry.
No. We'd find other mischief to get up to if we had it on. There'd be nobody would be
rapping is what would happen.
Yeah. No, nobody would actually know what was going on in the ring because we'd talk about anything else.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. The part 1 is out now. Part 2 will be out this coming week and coming Sunday. And I got something special, I think, in mind for November. I think we're going to watch an old wrestling pay-per-view. Glenn, you may have remembered this one, the WWF Wrestling Challenge. Do you remember this pay-per-view? Okay, so it's a one-night tournament, a one-night 16-man single elimination tournament, and lots of short matches with a lot of interesting characters, and I think it's going to be a hoot for us to watch it. So I think it's
What year was that?
It was in 1985. It was right after the very first WrestleMania.
That is probably why I didn't know about it then.
Yeah.
Because Sky wasn't around in 1985, so.
Right. I mean,
I was only barely aware of wrestling your side of the Atlantic at that time.
Yeah, so it's very interesting because it's pure 80s WWF, which is always good. And I thought we'd do a little change of pace. It took place in the month of November, so I thought it would be a good change of pace, and we could do that in November because I have never watched it either, but I've looked at the card and I'm like, oh yeah, that is AWI Pod material right there.
Good.
There's AWI pop material right there. So I think that's it, Glenn. We plugged it all, didn't we?
Yep.
Nope. We forgot one. Make sure you check out Sports Wire Radio and make sure you give our buddy Thomas Price a follow on all the social media platforms. It's 2017 on Twitter. I refuse to call it the other thing that's called. And it's 2020 on Instagram and Threads. Make sure you check out Sports Wire Radio. Make sure you check out everything that Thomas Price is doing. That's it. That's all. It's time for Glenn to say goodbye.
Goodbye.